Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for this edition of YBMcast. Player Spotlight, powered by Game 7 Baseball, Game7Baseball.com. And on the show today, we've got some guys from Kansas City. And just an FYI, we're going to be rolling up to Kansas City, or we rolled to Kansas City. We got Mac Insights, Inside Edge. Be looking for the Winter Workout Tour 2024. We're going to have some fun with that. Looking forward to going up to Kansas City and checking out those programs up there. Game7Baseball.com. Get your team registered. Get in some tournaments. It's going to be a lot of fun. Great summer coming up. But as we said here on the Prime Sports Midwest call-in link, we've got three gentlemen from Staley High School. Lukas Wilson, Jackson Glueck. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, you got it.
Sweet. Kenton Unruh. Gentlemen, thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Lots of good stuff happening up there. I think you guys are going to be a tough team to beat. What do you think's in store for you guys this year?
I think I kind of think we're going to sneak up on people with how talented we really are. It might not have shown last year, but after that one nothing loss against Liberty North, I think it's starting to open people's eyes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna be a really good team this year. I don't think we're just gonna have anything handed to us though, like some people might. I think we're gonna have to still earn our keep, but I think we're definitely gonna be like what Lukas said. And we're gonna surprise some people this year, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we're bringing back a lot of guys. A lot of dudes played last year coming back, so I think it'll be a pretty good year for us. A little bit of experience under our belts.
Very good. Well, I'll tell you, gentlemen, this is a first for us. We're going into uncharted territories. We've got, and this is for fans and whatnot for YBMcast. This year, we're going to be doing. You guys got a date against Liberty North at their house on a Monday, and we're going to be there to live stream that game because I think that's going to be a dandy. And but then we're going to be coming back. We're doing your game that Monday night. Then we're going to be back here in St. Louis or St. Charles County on that Tuesday, and we got Francis Howell versus Fort Zumwalt West. So I'll tell you, man, I don't think it gets much bigger than that. I think there's four powerhouse teams. We're looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So let's get into this a little bit. Let's talk some baseball. Youth-wise, you guys, I'm sure, all played youth baseball. Talk to us a little bit about your journey. How'd you get started? How young were you?
I think I started playing when I was 4 or 5 years old. And I never played on a big travel team or club team. I was always in single A or double A. And then the farthest I ever got up was to triple A in Little League. And then once I hit high school, I decided to try out for the Royals, and then I made it and then played 3 years with the Royals scout team. And then, that's kind of how my journey's been.
Wow, that's impressive. Jackson?
Yes. So I actually asked my parents this when I started playing baseball, because all I can remember is just playing baseball, and they basically told me from the time I was able to walk, they put me on some t-ball team. They were you were probably 3 years old or something. And then I didn't really get into summer ball and stuff till I was 6. And I was kind of like Luke. I bounced around. I ended up playing mostly double A and triple A, and I played a little bit of major before I got to high school. And then before I went to this Royals tryout. I was planning on playing for a summer team called Impact, but Luke told me that he was going to do the tryout and that I should go with him. And I was like, well, it'd be pretty neat to go and do a tryout for the Royals, I guess. And I ended up really like doing well at the tryout. I still didn't expect anything though, because it like at the time, like if you heard Royal Scout Team, you just thought like a bunch of Power 5 athletes, like ridiculous like names and stuff, and just these guys were like way above anything I thought I was at the time. And then I got an email like 3 weeks after the tryout that said I made the team, and like from then on, I've only been like getting better and just enjoying life, I guess.
Yeah, I think I was about 4 when I started. I was playing t-ball. I started out with AA, and then I played AAA for a few years. I think my last year before I got to high school ball, we did 1 year major. I didn't go to the Royal Scout team like they did. Despite Glueck's best efforts to get me on the team, I never actually went to the tryouts. So I ended up playing for Prodigy Baseball Academy up in Parkville for 3.5 years.
Oh, that program. Guys, did you – now, of course, Lukas, your dad has been the head coach there at Staley for a long time. Did you guys play for your dads? Did you play for somebody else? How did that experience – and talk to us a little bit about your parents and their role in your youth side.
I never got to play for my dad growing up. Now my brother, on the other hand, my dad was his coach all through Little League, all through high school. But me, I think because he coached my brother, he went through it, so he wanted to watch me play instead of have to coach. And here and there, he was really invested in me playing, so he'd help coach if my summer team needed any help or like coach couldn't make it. But other than that, I didn't start playing for him until I was a freshman in high school.
So my dad helped around. When I was in machine pitch, he was the coach that fed the ball in the machine. But my dad, other than that, he has like done zero coaching for any team. He just kind of sat in the stands and just watched.
He was your support group, right?
Yeah, he definitely is the yin to my yang, I guess. We butt heads a lot, so I guess you could say that. If I have a bad game, he's like. He treats me like a mom would, like I go for three strikeouts and he'll be like, hey, at least you tried. And I'll be like, yeah, I guess so, So, I can't really describe it in like a good way. He never played like competitive sports growing up. He grew up in like a town of like 400 people. And the furthest he got was like riding the pine for varsity basketball for 4 years. So he never even played baseball in high school. And I guess he just sees everything I do and just thinks I'm like God's like chosen child or something. So if I don't have like a good game, he still thinks like the world of me. And I just hate it sometimes because I'm like, dude, you just watched me make like 2 errors and you're telling me over here that I'm still in it. It's like I just don't want to hear that right now,
There's nothing wrong with that, Jackson. That's good stuff, bro.
No, I know it's nothing. That's just you're like the way you phrased it. I was like, yeah, he definitely is the yin to my yang. He like opposites attract, I guess.
Need that counterbalance, right? There you go.
Yeah.
Kenton, go ahead, buddy.
I only played for my dad for about 2 years. I think I was like 10 to 12. And I'm kind of glad I did because he's one of those old school baseball guys. I remember we were 10 years old. We had a bad practice, and he had us running until we puked. He did not stop running us until some kid threw up. And we're 10 years old running around the track for 30 minutes. It was one of the worst baseball experiences I've had, but he's always been kind of in my corner, helping me outside, but he was only my coach for really 2 years.
That kind of stuck with you, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I'm still mad about it.
I guess I would be in his corner though. I'm that kind of that old school guy, I guess. Look at me though. I'm an old guy. There you go.
I mean, I get it, but we're 10. We don't know how to. I mean,
Maybe when you're 15, right?
Yeah, a little bit older.
I love that. I love that stuff. Guys, your experiences here growing up playing youth baseball, when you were playing at those ages, it's a lot of fun. What was your thought process as you moved through that? When you see what you see today and where travel baseball is, coming to and whatnot, talk to us a little bit about your experience with that. Did you like the travel? Did you like just playing locally around there with your buddies? What's your thoughts on that?
For me, I love travel baseball. Getting to play for the Royals was one of my dreams growing up because my brother got to play for him, and he said he would take like, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks out of his summer, and he'd just be in a hotel with his teammates, rooming with his teammates, just playing baseball. And I thought that was the life. Like, that's awesome. Like, because I could live on my own, play ball, hang out with buddies, and play great competition. Some of these tournaments that we travel to, the competition's awesome. And me, I love to compete. So, like, the better it gets, the more fun it is for me. Even though sometimes it is frustrating, but I think it's more fun that way. But yeah, I love traveling. I never liked playing local. I always wanted to go out and see all the other baseball players.
So you're hanging out with the guy there on the screen next to you, right?
Yeah. I traveled with Jackson for 3 summers. Yeah.
We just lost him.
I don't remember the question.
Sorry. My friend's mom just FaceTimed me. So I don't know how long I was gone. Sarah Hollister, if you're watching this, you just interrupted the podcast. That's my friend Grant's mom. Grant played on the Royals with us.
Grant Hollister?
Yeah. Mom just FaceTimed me. So sorry.
There you go. That's all right.
What was the question again?
We're talking about, the growing up playing ball was, what do you think of the summer stuff? And there you go. And I asked Lukas, I said, you guys he loved traveling, hanging out with buddies. You were one of those guys, right?
Yeah, me and Luke, we definitely hung out a lot this summer and the past few summers because we lived together for 6 weeks, I guess. But going back to what you said about youth and summer, if I'm being honest, I didn't really dig the whole youth baseball that as much as some other people did until I got to high school, and it was just summer ball. And part of that is because when I was playing summer ball, I was playing up a year every year until I got to high school because I was born on April 30th and the cutoff date was May 1st. So everybody I played with was a grade above me. And I don't think at the time there was any my teammates growing up, they're all kids, and I was always really good, and I was probably one of the best, if not the best player on every team that I played for growing up. And I think it was hard for kids that were older than me to just accept that a kid that was a grade level below them was better than them. And so I got picked on a lot, and I never really got to. There were a few guys that I was good friends with, but usually I never got to hang out with any of the guys. I didn't go to any birthday parties. there were times where I would just go home and like ask my parents if I could like quit for the summer. You know, I didn't like it, and I think that's just like the thing with me was like I just didn't like being around during youth baseballs because I just got harassed and like bullied basically, you know. And then going into high school, I finally got to play with guys my age, and everyone was like way cooler to me. Like everyone was like my friends, and it completely changed my perspective on baseball. And I ended up having way more fun whenever everyone like started treating me like a peer, not like someone that was like competing with them for some reason, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Kenton?
I don't know. I mean, it's always been really busy, even from being young. Just the whole summer taken up with traveling. Even if it wasn't that far, we still go someplace to play almost every weekend. But I don't think I have a lot of bad things to say about it. I mean, I've always had a good time with my teammates, and that's really all I have for that.
There you go. That's cool. Guys, we talk about once you get into summer baseball in high school and whatnot, what are the differences? Because we talk about, high school baseball, you're playing with these guys, and then summer baseball. What are the biggest differences for you from high school to summer? And what are the biggest differences about how you play? What's the thought process about these things? And what are the end goals?
I think the difference between high school and summer is the one thing I see is the game is played different. In high school, we're trying to win a state championship. So every game has a strategy to it, and it's not always a huge offensive game, or it's a pitcher duel. It's most of the time it's each coach is battling each other, and the game, like, bunts are more effective in high school, and certain pickoffs are more effective in high school. And then you go into summer and it's more like a showcase. Every game is like a showcase. It's hit the long ball or throw the hardest. And that's what I see. That's what I see the most when it goes from high school to summer. Because in the summer we play in so many tournaments that you have a chance to win a championship 6 to 8 times in a summer. But in high school we get one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a little more stressful in high school, and there's more strategy to it because winning's a bigger deal than it is in summer.
Yeah, going back to what Lukas said, it is a different game in high school than it is in summer, but I think like part of that is whenever you're like a middle schooler and you go to a basketball game, they have all the banners up there on the wall with all the teams, and they're like district championship, conference championship, and state championship. Those numbers stay up there forever, like they won't ever go away. It's like history for the school, and you don't get that in summer ball. You get like a little like just like ornament or something, and I feel like when it comes to school ball, you don't get to choose where you live. So your coach is dealing the cards that he's given, like on players. A lot of summer ball teams can like handpick people. Like during the summer, me and Lukas played against we were able to play against a team this year called Canes National, and it was probably the most loaded team you could have ever imagined, and none of the kids lived next to each other. There was kids from California all the way to Florida. It was ridiculous, and in high school ball, you don't get that. It's guys all from your area, and you're just all good friends. You're just battling it out each and every day, and you know, being up at Staley, we see a lot of alumni come through, and Staley's never won a state championship, so they always tell us about going to the Final Four, and we hear the stories of like their like losses and stuff, and it just makes you want it more. And every time we've been in a playoff setting, I've felt 10 times more of like a rush and like the adrenaline than I have in any summer ball game. And also, as Luke was saying, like how we have so many tournaments during summer. I think like it started my freshman year. I realized like how big of a difference it was because when we were playing at Lake Point, the first time you show up and you're like 15 years old, you get to Lake Point and it's a big tournament and you just see like hundreds of scouts. Like it's ridiculous. Like schools like from everywhere, and you think it's the coolest thing ever, and you're like, oh my god, look at like this is the best thing ever. I love this. And then like legit, like seriously, the first day of bracket, all of them are gone. Like there's no scouts. It's just your parents, and half the time your parents aren't there because you're in Georgia, and so now you're just playing in front of nobody, and you're like expected to like win, and you just threw all your good arms, and these teams that handpick kids from like other states have like 10 arms ready to go. So you got like me freshman year throwing 82 against some dude from Florida. It's like 92, and I mean it was just ridiculous. It didn't feel competitive, at that point. And then it really gave me like an idea, like, oh, so high school is like real baseball, and then summer ball is like just showing what you got, like just going like balls to the wall, like as hard as you can, and just hoping that somebody sees something in you that they would like to add to their college or maybe even pro team.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what Luke said. I feel like high school, it's more team focused. You got a team playing to, win, and you have a certain goal that you're playing to go and achieve. And I feel like summer ball, at least for me, it was always kind of you're playing for yourself. You go out there and you try to do the best you can so you can get recruited, and that was always kind of the underlying tone for summer ball. You play well, and then you go do well later on. But I mean, it was just, it's been weird kind of seeing that dynamic. I've always thought, high school playing to win a state championship, playing to win district conference is always fun, just because it gives you something to shoot for instead of, summer ball. You got guys showing up 10 minutes late, showing up in shorts and slides. No one's ready to go by game time, and it's just kind of lackadaisical.
And that does. Do you guys think that, do you learn more? And I'm going to throw this at you, Kenton, to start with. Do you learn more in your high school as far as team baseball, those types of things, than you do in the summer?
Oh, for sure. I think come high school, you learn how to be a team guy and how to win as a team. Opposed to summer ball, I felt like I learned more about myself and what I could do as a player.
So it's really two different aspects of the same thought process, and you using them for different aspects of what you're trying to accomplish, correct?
Yeah.
Guys, I want to do this because, of course, we had your dad on, Lukas, a couple weeks ago talking. I really enjoyed talking with him. He's retiring. This is his last year. And I want to start up. We'll start up with Kenton. That way we'll roll back down to Lukas. We'll get you. But, this is Coach Wilson's last year. Does it put, and as Jackson alluded to, you guys haven't won a state title. Does that put, you got talent. You're a really good team. Does it put a little extra pressure? Would you like to go out, put him on top going out?
I think, I don't know if there's really pressure, at least because it's his last year. For me, I feel like there's pressure because it's our last year. And, he's coached for, he's coached for a bunch of years. We've only been playing for 3. So I feel like, at least for me, I feel like it's kind of on us. He's doing everything he can, but it boils down to it's on us at the end of the day.
Yeah. Whenever I think about it, I've never really felt much pressure on my shoulders because of it being Coach Wilson's last year. At the end of the season last year, I realized that it was going to be his last year, and a lot of people were saying, "Man, you guys you have to win state. It's final year, you're going out." But I really haven't been pressured at all by that because at the end of the day, I mean, I know Coach Wilson. The last thing on his mind is like just winning a state championship to win one. He genuinely cares about the players and stuff, and he's told us multiple times if I was pitching a state championship and I'm like throwing like a perfect game and I come in, my arm's killing me, he's not gonna say, "Oh, you got to go back out." He would like pull me, And I think all the pressure that I feel right now is just to like be a good like role model and like mentor to like those guys below us who are gonna have to play with a new coach next year and like a whole new conference next year because next year they're moving to a new conference, And if I can succeed this year and I can show the guys below me like how I ran things, how I did like how I like held myself accountable and stuff, and how I just carried myself every day, that they can find success in doing that too. And I also have faith in our team because I feel like we have a lot of dudes. I don't feel like there's any one person that's like a weak link. I think we all have our minds in the right place, and I think we're all good baseball players. So any pressure that I've felt this year has nothing to do with Coach Wilson, all to do with just how I represent myself to the team and like how I'm able to help others on our team be successful.
Since I live with him, I get to hear what he's got to say for this season upcoming. But his main goal is to take all the pressure off the players, and he just wants us to play for each other and have a great senior year. Because I know from my sophomore year and my junior year, I put so much pressure on me to just succeed and do well, and it didn't work out for me. I ended up doing the exact opposite, and I think what he wants is he wants the year to be fun. He would love to win a state championship, but he wants his last year, and he wants my last year and all of our seniors, all for us to just have fun for our last baseball season together. And yeah, I mean he does tell me that he really wants a state championship this year, and he's going to do anything in his power to do it. And but I think the main goal is he just wants this senior year to be memorable, and he wants it to be fun because it's technically his senior year too. So he wants it to be he wants it to be memorable, and I think he wants all pressure gone. If we don't win it, we don't win it. But yeah, I think he just wants us to. I think he wants to have a great year. I think he just wants it to be fun, and yeah.
Whatever happens, happens. I mean, really, honestly, competition, the way, especially, my goodness, up in your guys' district, conference. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that. We're going to start up with Kenton. We'll roll back down the other way. But your guys' conference and what you play on a regular basis, oh, my gosh, it's brutal, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Coach Wilson he's been giving us some pretty tough schedules, at least the last few years. I mean, that's always a big thing for him is he'll go find tough teams to play, find a Francis Howell or, go up to Creighton Prep and play them just so when we get to conference and district play, it's a lot easier for us just because a lot of those teams around here are good. Liberty and Liberty North winning state championships the last, I think, 3 years. So I think his goal is to just kind of make that feel normal by going out and finding those good teams that we can go play.
Yeah, our conference, it's talented, and our district's even more talented. But I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be. Coach Wilson, like Kenton said, if you go through our schedule, there's not a team on there that is like a safe game. Every game we're gonna have to go out and ball out. We can't afford to make mistakes, and if we do, it's gonna hurt us. And so I think Coach Wilson's like thought process behind that is he's going to throw everything he can at us before we go to districts, and it's going to help like shape us into the team that he wants us to be, like the state run caliber team that he wants us to be. And last year we started off not too great. He put us against some good teams and we folded under pressure, but as the season went on, we started to notice like changes in the team. We started rallying late in games. We started playing better defense. Our pitchers started pitching with a lot more accuracy and a lot more competitiveness. And come districts, we had 2 years in a row first round exits, and we battled our way all the way to the 7th inning of the district championship against the reigning state champs. And we were 3 outs away from going into extras. So I think what Coach Wilson has done with our schedule and making it as tough as he has is a smart thing, and I'm all for it. I want to play those good teams because I've seen what it does to our team and what it can do for our players, and I love it.
Lukas, I want to ask you this because that is that's a tough one. You guys, the walk-off bomb 7th. What did that do for your mentality going into this season?
I think it makes us want it more. You hate going out like that, especially when you're so close to getting it. Staley hasn't won a district since 2019, and the main goal before we start talking about state, we have to win our district. Our team, the teams we play are they're so good, and I have so much respect for all the programs that we've played. The Park Hill District, we always battle with. The Liberty District, we always battle with. They've kind of had our number in the past 2 years, but we won it this year. After a loss like that, it sucks seeing everybody after the game, the seniors that you've bonded with as underclassmen, and then some of your teammates. You work so hard throughout the year just to get a good seeding and then to find your way in the district championship 0-0 all the way to the 7th against a really good pitcher. And then it just get snatched from you. Yeah, no, it didn't feel good.
Doesn't taste good, does it?
No.
Well, guys, you got your way into it. I think you're going to have a sensei. We're looking forward to the season. I think you're a highly talented team. Looking forward to that. I want to finish off this conversation. You guys are all committed to play college ball, and in really different aspects. Kenton, you're going up to Bradley University. Talk to us a little bit about your experience that way and why you chose Bradley.
Well, for me, my recruiting process I felt was slow. I think my freshman year, I started getting attention with some schools, and I got pretty close with a number of schools, but it just never ended up working out. And then after going to the Futures games, I think 2 summers ago, the former assistant coach, Coach True, and he reached out, I think on Twitter, got my number that way. We started talking, and I think a couple months later, they brought me up on a visit, toured school facilities. And then at the end, they sat me down and they gave me an offer, and it was one that I really couldn't turn down. I've been very fortunate with my situation going up to Bradley.
Very good. Education-wise, I'm sure Mom's happy about that. And what do you know what you're looking for as far as your studies are concerned?
I've got a couple ideas. I think they're a pretty big engineering school, so I could do something engineering, no problem. A business degree nowadays it's so versatile. One thing I've been thinking about is human factors engineering. That just sounds kind of fun to me. I've got a couple options I've been kicking around, but I haven't quite decided yet.
Yeah, you got a couple years still, right?
Yeah.
Jackson, I'm going to come back to you, but Lukas, you're staying local there, Johnson County Community College.
Yeah.
What's your thought process there, buddy?
Well, for me, it's not really as local. So my family's actually moving to the Lake of the Ozarks after I move out.
That's true.
It'll end up going from a 45-minute drive home to a 3-hour drive. So the biggest decision for me was more money. I wanted to. Yes, I wanted to choose which school I think I fit best with, and Johnson, they gave me a pretty good offer that I couldn't turn down. And after going and visiting their school, it's a junior college that does not look like a junior college. The facilities, the campus, it looks pretty close to a 4-year school, so that caught my eye. But yeah, for Johnson, kind of a little bit why I did decide to go there is so the assistant coach is Mikey Yeager, or we call him Mikey, and he's a former Staley player. So he was the first ever recorded hit at Staley High School, and when I first started talking to him, I could tell there was a pretty good bond right as soon as I started talking to him, and I could see myself playing for him in this next upcoming year. So yeah, that's kind of how I chose Johnson.
Very good, very good. Now, Jackson, you're going flying all the way across. I know Pima Community College because I went to Chandler High School in Chandler, Arizona, so I'm familiar with that area over there. And you picked Pima Community College in.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
So, it's kind of funny, like, whenever I think about it, because I kind of feel like a jerk whenever I think about it, but, what happened was, I'll get into all this. I'll start at the beginning of summer. So, the beginning of summer, or not even the beginning of summer, probably the beginning of high school. So, last year, we went to go and play in a baseball tournament in Arizona. Staley did. And it was probably the best I've ever played in my life. I think I left there batting like 760. I had 2 home runs, like 5 extra base hits. It was ridiculous. I had a great weekend there. And whenever I was down there, I contacted 2 schools in Arizona. I contacted Yavapai College, and I contacted Coach Eyes. And I told both of them, hey, I'm going to be here. I also contacted GCU, but they weren't really responding as much. But I told those 2 schools, like, hey, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be playing. And they both acted like they were going to come and watch me, and neither of them did. And but Coach Eyes, they stayed on me for a long time. And going into the summer, I started to realize I was gaining attention from some Division I schools, and I was talking to about 4 or 5 different schools during the summer, and I thought about midway through the summer that I was going to end up committing to Western Kentucky University. But it was really strange. I still don't know what happened. The coach, he called me on. I was on my way to the airport. I was going to head home. We were just leaving North Carolina, and he said, hey, buddy, we're putting together a package for you. We don't like to hold out. We don't like to hold out commitments, so we're gonna give you like 30 days once we give you the scholarship or whatever, and then something like that. And so I was like, all right. And then like we stopped talking, and he never like gave me the package or whatever it was. I called him. I tried calling him. I tried texting him. Never responded. Haven't talked to him since that day going to the airport. And so about like 3 or 4 tournaments later, I went and I was fortunate enough to play in this Perfect Game National event in Arizona at Chase Stadium. And I was one of the few kids there that wasn't committed. And I had a game where I hit like a double to the wall, and like as soon as I left, I got a text from Mizzou, and they asked me if I was still uncommitted. And then they started talking to me, and they like acted extremely interested. They talked to me for about like a month and a half, 2 months after that, and it was the same thing. I went to a camp. They invited me to a camp, and they loved it. And what like separated me from wanting to go to Mizzou, because I grew up, both my parents went to Mizzou. What stopped me from wanting to go there was they pulled all the players that were at this camp that they liked a lot into this room, and they were like pulling them out one at a time and doing interviews. And they were pulling like the freshmen and sophomores first, because once they leave campus, they can't talk to them again.
Right.
And so these conversations were like an hour and a half per player, and there's only one head coach, and there was like 15 players in there. And like 3 or 4 hours into it, their assistant coach pulls me into the room, and he's like, "We're not going to be able to get to you tonight. It's just taking too long." And it really upset my dad, and he kind of felt like I was like a second like pick or something, like acted like I wasn't like their top priority, and if they were really interested in me, that they would have taken me to the office earlier, you know. And I didn't really think much about that, but they ended up calling me a week later, and they said they had a package for me. And at this time, I had lined up visits to junior colleges. I went to Iowa Western, I went to Crowder, and I had a visit to Pima Community College that was set up by Coach Wilson. And I went on both the visits. I went to Iowa Western and Crowder. And then Mizzou hadn't given me my package yet, and I texted them. I was like, I would like to have I'd like to know what my package is by like the end of the week, you know, like I don't see why we're holding out, you know. And I talked to a lot of my teammates I played with during the summer, and they said when they got their offers, there wasn't like they didn't wait at all, you know. And so I saw that as like a red flag. And whenever I set up the visit to go to Pima, I didn't even know what Pima was at the time. Coach Wilson texted me one night, and he said, would you be interested in going to Pima Community College? And I was like, who is that? And he's like, it's like they went 46-18 last year, and I'm really good friends with the coach. And I looked them up, and they were in like the top 20 in JUCO, and I was like, yeah, I would. And I didn't realize it until after I set up the visit that I had told, because Coach Eyes wanted to offer me, and I told them I wasn't really looking to go to an Arizona JUCO because it was so far from home. And so that's what I told them to like let them down. And I later found out, and then I committed to Pima, and I just felt like a jerk after that, you know. So that's like the whole story. I thought I was gonna go D1, and so I basically told Coach as like I wasn't interested anymore. I didn't think I was gonna play JUCO in Arizona because it was so far from home. And then Division I ended up not working out, and I found the spot that I ended up wanting to play at was in Pima, Arizona.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, everybody's journey is different, and that's the way it works, right? And that's the way it goes. Gentlemen, we're looking forward to coming out and seeing you guys play on the field. And I appreciate all of you taking the time today to join us on the Player Spotlight. Hope you enjoyed that, and we hope our folks enjoyed the conversation here. It was a pleasure. Really a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Absolutely, guys. Folks, if you want to, if you like what we're doing, please. You see that where it says like, share, and subscribe? Please do that. Take a moment, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that, and then, as it says on the screen there, hit the dinger right there next to it. Chicks dig the long ball, right, fellas?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't say that, but chicks.
You can I ask
Yeah.
this question here? I think Jackson, you kind of have your own opinions about everything, don't you, buddy?
Yeah. You could ask me pretty much anything. I got something to say. But chick stick the long thing is a little far fetched because I've hit a lot of long balls, and I don't see any chicks. But I'll say if I keep hitting long balls and I get to a point where those long balls start making money, I think the chicks might start coming around. I'll have to keep you informed on that.
You know what? I appreciate that, and we're definitely going to keep in touch. Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
You got a philosophical mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you could say that.
I love it. I love it. Guys, thanks a lot, folks. We appreciate you tuning in. Everybody have a great day in the Lord. Pitchers, keep throwing strikes, and hitters, you guys know what the old saying is, right?
Chicks dig the long ball.
Don't strike it out.
Lukas, you got one?
Oh.
See ball, hit ball.
I love all that.
Yeah.
That's all great advice, guys. I dig it. There you go, folks. We'll see y'all next time.